What's up people, it's Wasabi and I'm back with another review. And today we're going to check out the latest and the greatest. Well, greatest for now because let's be real, something new always pops up eventually. But honestly speaking, the Lekker Tikken Switches might be the most recommended magnetic switch for quite some time. Wooting sent me a full set to test, which is very nice because since May, I only had one switch to play with. But anyway, as always with the content on my channel, these are my thoughts, personal opinions, and experiences with the product. Now before we go any further, let's manage some expectations here real quick. Now this is a switch I've really been waiting for you guys to get a chance to try. I first got my hands-on experience at Computex in a Wooting 60HE V2 and a 80HE zinc alloy case. And man, did it feel good. So typing felt great, and for FPS movement keys, even better. That was my first impression back in May, and Wooting confirmed that nothing has changed since then, which I'm very glad about because honestly, it already felt like they got the recipe down and it didn't need more salt or pepper. So the Lekker Tikken switches are now available on Wooting's website for a price of $39.99 for a pack of 70 and $49.99 for a pack of 90. For the technical specs of the Lekker Tikken switches, total travel distance of 4 millimeters, initial force of 42 grams, bottom out force of 54, and a spring length of 22 millimeters. And the build, this is a closed bottom design with a polycarbonate top housing, POM stem, nylon bottom housing, and both the rails and the bottom housing come with the factory loop treatment. The stem wobble is significantly improved compared to the Lekker Linear 60 V2s. They're not stiff like a stick, but they feel stable and tight. Definitely not wobbly or rattly. I'd say these will feel good to a majority of people. My sound tests are not that great. It's hell outside my window. There's lots of traffic, construction, and in the evening, there are massive machines lifting tons of concrete. So yeah, it is unfortunately the best that I can do for now. But trust me when I say that the Lekker Tikken switches do sound good. And I know it's odd to say, but I do recommend checking out the official sound test on Wooting's channel or this site that lets you hear some super clean recordings of different switches to compare. I'll leave a link to this site in the description so you guys can check it out later. Now about the sound and feel, which I think a lot of people are gonna love. The sound profile, these have a stabler, deep sound thanks to the tighter tolerances and carefully chosen materials. If you didn't know, this is also the first closed bottom magnetic switch with a full 4mm travel. Now this is something that I've been waiting for because most magnetic switches before this one, they achieved their closed sound by adding more material in a way which shortened the travel distance. And for Wooting, they managed to keep the full range without any compromise, which is some voodoo magic or something that no one thought about before, I guess. So you get this satisfying clacky, thocky, clocky sound profile and the full travel. Personally, I prefer full range switches like these for gaming. It just feels more natural and engaging for me, especially for the WASD in FPS games. And that is also why that over the year, I still rotate between my Wooting keyboards and my ROG Falcon Ace HFX because the feeling of the full range of motion from the switches is just more enjoyable and engaging. Did I say engaging twice? I think I said engaging twice. Sorry. Oh shit. Now, Wooting uses a 22mm spring, giving it a firmer start and a smoother weight buildup. That makes accidental presses less likely and helps the switch to feel more predictable throughout the stroke. Now, this is something that I didn't know how to describe before, but Wooting nailed it with their own words, so I'm just borrowing that sentence. Basically, the weight buildup is very smooth and consistent. And you know, to me, that makes these switches excellent for FPS games and still feeling satisfying for typing. Overall, it doesn't feel like it leans too far towards gaming or typing, and I think that is what most people would want, especially if you specifically upgraded to a Hall effect keyboard for the gaming features and performance. For Hall effect switch, it is exactly what you want. The quality is good, you got a good balance of sound and feel, and it is enjoyable to use on a day-to-day basis. I mean, unless you prefer something lighter, and you know, on the product page, these are labeled as medium analog magnetic switches, so maybe if these Tikken switches are a big hit, we'll likely see a lighter version in time. Now let's check out the RGB lighting and diffusion. Now as you can see here, it's bright and evenly spread, no harsh hotspots, and the color tones remain pretty accurate to the light source. And the housing doesn't distort colors or completely block the lighting like some of the other switches that I have. Now final thoughts and what do I think of its value. These switches are not meant to be like super premium or an exclusive switch, and that's actually great. You don't have to use it on a Wooting keyboard and it performs well. And also the most important thing is that it doesn't feel like it's cutting corners. It sounds and feels very good in my personal Wooting 60HE with the original case and a carbon fiber plate. And for my Wooting 80HE, which has pretty much the default setup, with the Lekker Tikken switches, it adds more meat to the sound and typing feels tighter and has a bit more character with every keystroke. For enthusiasts, I think they might still crave something more unique in the sound profile or prefer different materials. But for most people, including me, these are switches that you can put into your keyboard, enjoy, and don't overthink it. These are safe but not boring. They look and sound good. RGB performance is solid, and more importantly, you know, the whole reason why I'm using a Hall effect keyboard is for an awesome gaming experience. So that's just why I'm very particular about how switches feel. And these Tikken switches feel just right. It's not ultimate gaming switch, but to me, it feels better for gaming than the other switches that I've tried. If you're still on the Lekker Linear 60 V1 or the V2, the Tikken switches are a pretty good upgrade. And between the Tikkens and my personal favorite Wooting TTC KOM POM switches, both are great, but in terms of value, the Tikken wins. It feels more modern and refined overall. And you know, the full 4mm travel is something that I prefer. Now, if you're using a 60% keyboard, grab the pack of 70, and if you're using an 80% keyboard, grab the pack of 90. And just make sure that your keyboard supports KS20 style switches. Most Hall effect keyboards today do, but it's worth double checking. And if you're getting these switches for a keyboard that is not a Wooting, just make sure you know how many switches you need before ordering. Now, if you do decide to get these switches, you can use my affiliate link in the description below that links you to the Wooting website. And any purchases made supports my channel. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, you know, no obligations, but any amount of support does help my channel out a lot. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe to support my channel. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.